And at this time, before we do our finale appearance of the evening, or the afternoon, evening, we're getting close to the evening, it is my honor and privilege to present the annual Principles First, Profiles Encourage Award that we have now presented. I think this is our third one. The previous two recipients were Cassidy Hutchinson, who testified to the January 6th committee. Don't want to lose that. And then Officer Harry Dunn, who you heard from earlier today. We present this award, our volunteer leadership committees. We have a host committee and we have an agenda committee. They're the volunteer leaders that make this thing go every year. Every year we get together a couple of weeks in advance and we take a vote, a poll. And it's my honor and privilege to present the award this year to just a very special individual. And you know him well, you saw him today, but I want to spend just a second to tell the story of this man's life because he really exemplifies everything that we want Americans to be. He is the definition of putting principles first, the embodiment of the ideals that our organization is seeking to promote in our country and just in our citizens. And I want to share just a little bit of background about him that you may not know. Sergeant Aquilino Gonell was born in the Dominican Republic and came to the United States. He moved to Brooklyn at just the age of 12. He then became an American citizen, and at age 21, after immigrating here, at age 21, he joined the U.S. Army in South Carolina. And then in 2004, he was sent to Iraq, where he saw combat in the Iraq War. A man comes here from the Dominican Republic, lives his American dream, serves in our armed forces, defending our homeland and our interests abroad. And then when he gets home, he joins the United States Capitol Police in 2006 and worked there for 16 years. During this time, he became a sergeant and passed the test to become a lieutenant, defending the seat of our government. And we all know him now because of obviously what happened on January 6th. And I want to spend some time on just what happened to Sergeant Gonell on that day. Just some facts, some details. The rioters attempted to push past Gonell and other officers who were holding a line. Fighting then broke out. Gonell fought with at least 40 people for 6 hours. And at some point he was pulled under the crowd of people. He said he lost enough oxygen to where he thought he was going to die. He eventually moved to a tunnel inside the Capitol, trying to prevent the mob from going upstairs. During the fighting, he was punched, he was bitten, hit with a flagpole, a bat, and his own baton on the steps of our Capitol. In the wake of the attack, he underwent 2 major surgeries for the injuries he sustained. They included having a metal plate installed in his foot. He underwent physical and mental therapy to deal with the trauma. And then just 6 months later, after sustaining those injuries, testified before the Select Committee on the January 6th attack. This man is full of courage, full of grit, full of patriotism. It is my honor and privilege to present the Profiles Encourage Award to Mr. Sergeant Aquilino Gonell. Please join me in welcoming him to the stage. I'll hold it if you want to say a few words.
Oh, wow. I didn't expect that, otherwise I would have dressed up properly. Thanks, Harry. He just told me backstage that he knew, but he couldn't tell me. Tell me at least dress properly, man. That's my buddy from Capitol Police. 16 years, I know him. I can't believe he's still around. I'll give him a hard time. But look, as I said earlier, I did what I did, both in the military and as a police officer, not because I wanted a medal, an award, or certificate, or any accolades. I did it because it was my job, it was my duty. And as an immigrant from the Dominican Republic, I came here when I was 12 years old. I struggled, I had a lot of adversity, both within the family, learning the language, adjusting to the culture, assimilating, getting an education. It was hard. And once I joined the military, the Army, I learned how to love this country. And I hope, and I did my job to the best I could, thinking that at the end of the day, what I was doing, it was worth doing, because this country had given me a lot, but I also had given this country a lot. I never expected myself, like I said earlier, to be in the spotlight like I am now. Always being shy, I've been out of, I guess, trying to figure out my place. I always been quiet, observing how other people react, what they do, who can I trust, and doing my job to the best I could. And the military taught me that, the military doctrine. It was an escape for me. It was a way for me to excel and learn the American values, the things that I care, to the point that I risk my life trying to defend it. Not only when I was in Iraq, but here on January 6th in the tunnel, where multiple people, more than 40 people, assaulted me that day. There are videos, there are pictures, ton of evidence. They cannot erase that. We were the good guys on January 6th, and no matter what they say or do, that's not going to change. I used, since I was in the military, used basketball as a way for me to heal. It was challenging for me to heal my body when I couldn't use my limbs, being at the end of 2 surgeries, crisscross, left shoulder and right foot. It took me about 1.5 years to 2 years to regain some of my motions. I'm glad that I am able to do some of the things that I did before the injuries. And it occurred to me that I have this idea of, and I don't know if you guys know somebody on your network, or I think Mark Cuban was here today. Perhaps he might be able to help with this. So if you know him, please tell him. I had this crazy idea of using basketball as a way to heal, not only for my community, which it does need a facility for a closer space for the winter and whatnot. I could partner up with him and discuss some of these details, or anybody else who wants to partner up. But I like to use basketball as a way to heal, bring up the community, keep the bad things around the community, and I think that's a good way for me to do that. And I was hoping that perhaps if you guys know anybody, that please reach out and let them know that I'm willing to listen and pitch my idea about that. But I didn't come for that today. Thank you for this honor. As I said, nothing that I had done has been because I won an award. It was because I was out there doing what I was supposed to do. And I think people recognize that. I thank you for doing that. But I'd rather have my health, my career, and the peace of mind that I had prior to January 6th. A few moments ago, we were upstairs, and Enrique Tario and the Proud Boys are upstairs. How they got into the building, I don't know, but it's insane that we had to be subjected to their harassment now because they feel emboldened and empowered because of the pardons that they received. We shouldn't be harassed for doing the right thing, for telling our story, for telling the truth and speaking against them in court, in public. They're the traitors. They're the one who attacked the Capitol. And yet you have a lot of politicians that are alive today because what we did, not because what the Proud Boys were trying to do to this country. It upset me that the same people who are running for their lives on January 6th have embraced the violence, have embraced the persons, the people who were committing the violence against the police officers. And in public, when they get in front of the camera, they continue to claim, I'm the biggest friend of the police officer. I'm supporter of the police officer. I'm the friend of the rule of law and law and order. And yet, every single time they had the opportunity to prove, to show that, they do the opposite. They do the opposite because they are continue to support those officers who are only willing to do their biddings. At the end of the day, Capitol Police, Metropolitan Police, and my colleagues, we did what we signed on for. Protect the Capitol, protect the elected officials. And those who say otherwise, they are a betrayal to the law and order and the rule of law and the officers who risk our lives to give them a chance to come back and do their job. And they have forgotten that their oath is to the Constitution of the United States, not the loyalty to a person like the president right now. They need to remember that, and that's why we are where we are. Once again, thank you for this honor. Thank you.
Let's get a picture right here and you know the stage.